What is going on, everybody? In this video, I'm going to be previewing the 2025 college football schedule for Arizona State. I'm going to predict every game on their 2025 schedule and give my record prediction for this team. This is an Arizona State team that is second in the country for return in production, so this team has high expectations for next season. Even after losing a beast at running back in Cam Scatterbo, I still have great expectations for this offense. They really turned it up at the end of last season. They won double-digit games and won their conference, and they nearly beat Texas in the playoffs. I know it took Cam Scatterbo playing the game of his life to almost beat Texas, but this is a young football team returning a lot of talent, and they got a good backfield next season. They got Kyson Brown, who should be a solid replacement, and they add a 1,000-yard back in Kanye Adu. Kanye had 1,100 rushing yards and 10 touchdowns for Army last season. He was one of the best backs at the Group of 5 level. So this backfield should be really good. They also bring back a top quarterback in the nation in Sam Levitt. He's only a sophomore. They return a 1,000-yard receiver in Jordan Tyson. He should be one of the top receivers in the nation. They got Malik McLean back as well. And they add Jalen Moss, who has had 10 touchdowns for over 1,200 receiving yards over the last 2 seasons. This receiving room should be really good. The offensive line is good as well. Overall, I think they're going to have a very good offense. Defensively, they really don't have to replace much. But they also add Kendrick Breedlove as well. This is a guy that had 28 tackles, 3 interceptions, and 4 pass breakups for Purdue last season. I'm expecting big things for this Arizona State defense with 8 projected starters. They were really solid last season. Kenny Dillingham is a young head coach on the rise. This team is one of the top contenders to win the Big 12 again next season. So without further ado, let's get into predicting their schedule. They open the season playing Northern Arizona at home. This will be an easy win for Arizona State. Northern Arizona isn't this super good FCS team. Arizona State should start off hot with a 1-0 start. They will then go on the road to play Mississippi State. It's never easy to play on the road at an SEC school, even if it's the worst SEC team heading into next season. Or at least we think. Mississippi State does have some offensive optimism. They got Blake Shapen back at quarterback, and I wouldn't be surprised if this was a somewhat close game. Mississippi State potentially has one of the best backfields in the country with Devon Booth and Fluff Bothwell, the huge transfer addition. They added some solid receivers like Marcus Allen, Aiden Williams, and Brennan Thompson. So offensively, if the talent steps up, they could be really good. But defensively, there's a lot to clean up. They were one of the worst Power 4 defenses last season, and I don't see that defense changing much. Their head coach is more of an offensive mind, and this team has a lot to clean up. I think Arizona State will win this game, and I have them moving to 2-0. Arizona State will then play Texas State at home. Texas State has been okay the last couple of seasons, but they lost some good pieces this offseason. They are actually near the bottom of the country in returning production with only 36 returning production for next season. They add Giovanni McCoy at quarterback, former Oregon State quarterback, but he's really not that talented. I personally wouldn't be surprised to see this team take a big step back. If there was a season for them to be really good, it would have been last season. They had some of the pieces necessary, but next season I really don't see it. And I don't see them competing with a team like Arizona State. I think Arizona State continues their momentum, moving to 3-0. Next up, they get Baylor on the road. This could be a very tricky early season game. Baylor is a team that I am high on, and I think they're very underrated. They returned 70% of the production from last season. That's top 10 in the country. And I think they're going to have an extremely explosive offense. They have very good players at every level on offense. They have a guy in Sawyer Robertson who a lot of people are ranking high, even in their top 10 for quarterbacks returning next season. They got a 1,000-yard back in Bryson Washington returning. They have a very good group of wide receivers returning in Ashton Hawkins and Josh Cameron. They have one of the best tight ends in the country in Michael Trick returning. Oh yeah, and they also add Cole Wilson and Kobe Prentice, a former highly coveted recruit from Alabama. The offensive line is also looking very good. This team should be very good at every level offensively. Defensively, they've made some huge additions. They had a highly coveted recruit in Oregon and Amarion Winston. They also got Travion Barnes, a very good linebacker out of the portal. I do expect this defense for Baylor to be improved. And Baylor having this game at home early season, I think it's going to be a huge opportunity for them to make a statement. I am going to say Arizona State loses this game on the road and moves to 3-1. I think Baylor has the offensive talent to take Arizona State to their limits. They then get TCU at home. Some people are really liking this TCU team. They have good talent. They have one of the most talented rosters in the Big 12. But they do have a tough schedule and they lost a lot of key pieces. Trent Battle will have to step up at running back. They will probably not have that great of a running back room. I think they're going to be alright, but they have some questions on defense. I think other teams in the Big 12 around them are getting better. TCU was okay last season, but I don't see them taking a big step forward. I do think Arizona State will bounce back and beat this TCU team at home. I think Arizona State should be much better. I have them moving to 4-1. Arizona State will then have another big road test going to Utah. This could be another team that is much improved next season, kind of like I'm thinking with Baylor. But I did have Arizona State losing on the road at Baylor. I don't see a lot of room for slip up with this Arizona State team. I think they're going to be one of the best teams in the country, honestly. I'm really liking Utah with Devin Dampier at quarterback and some solid receivers coming in. I think they're going to have a great quarterback and a great running back. Devin Dampier should be a really good quarterback. And Wayshawn Parker is one of the most underrated backs in the nation. And defensively, we know what to expect with this Utah team. They haven't really fell off on defense. They've been really consistent on that side of the ball. And they have good return in production. I think they're going to get back to being a winning football team, definitely with a quarterback in Devin Dampier. They got their quarterback. But I am going to trust Arizona State on the road in this game. I think they are a step ahead of Utah, and I think they can get a big win on the road. Give me Arizona State to move to 5-1. Arizona State will then play Texas Tech, another team I'm expecting to take a step forward, but they do get them at home. Honestly, I think Arizona State and Texas Tech could play twice next season. I am very high in Texas Tech. Texas Tech returns a very good receiving room with Caleb Douglas and Coy Eakin. They also add a very good receiver in Reggie Virgil. They got a great back in Quentin Joyner coming in. He should be a very good replacement for Tosh Brooks. And Byron Morton is one of the best returning quarterbacks in the country. They have a top 2 transfer portal class in the nation, and they absolutely revamped the front 7, adding guys like David Bailey, Lee Hunter, Skylar Howard-Gill, Romello Height. All of these guys are proven playmakers. I'm expecting this team to be better, and they're nearly top of the country in return and production. I really think I'm 50-50 on this game, but I am going to take Arizona State's experience. These guys have been playing together. Texas Tech has been relying on a lot of portal talent. I think they'll be a lot better, but I'm going to take Arizona State to win this game and move to 6-1. They then get Houston at home. Houston is another team that I'm expecting to take a step forward. A lot of these Big 12 teams are going to be much better next season. Houston is also returning some good production. They have a good head coach on the rise in Willie Fritz. This is a guy that turned around Tulane, and I think he could do the same thing for Houston if we give him time. The only concern I have with this Houston team is the fact that they lost 2 of their best players on the team, and they're both in the secondary. They lost both AJ Halsey and Jeremiah Wilson, 2 of the top players in the portal. I still think they'll be solid defensively, but they could have a hole in the secondary. And offensively, there's still some growth they need to do. I do think they are going to be much improved on offense. They add a former 5-star in Connor Wigman. They also got Dean Connors, a very good back. They got an okay receiver room, but they will have some questions on the offensive line with a lot of new starters. Overall, I think this should be a bold team. I do think they're going to take a step forward. But Arizona State has this game at home. I think they can get this win and move to 7-1. Arizona State will then get Iowa State on the road. Just like any of the other road games, I could see Arizona State dropping the games. This is an Arizona State team that could be really good and still miss the Big 12 title because of their brutal schedule. But I am trusting that offense and the defense. I'm trusting Sam Levitt at quarterback. I think this team is going to be very good. Iowa State is losing their top 2 wide receivers from last season. We saw what happened when these 2 teams played in the Big 12 title last season. I think Arizona State can get this win on the road and move to 8-1. Making it through that stretch as an 8-1 team for Arizona State would be very good. And they catch a break in their last 3 games. After a bye week, they will play West Virginia. They get this game at home. Although I like the hire of Rich Rodriguez, he really succeeded at West Virginia a couple of decades ago. But it is a new landscape, and he has a lot to prove at West Virginia. And West Virginia is near the bottom of the Big 12 in return in production. They absolutely revamped the roster. This team made a bowl game last season, but they really weren't that good. I think they could take a step back. I think they'll be average, and I trust Arizona State to win this game off of a bye week and move to 9-1. Same thing about Colorado. I'm expecting them to take a step back with how much they lost. They lost some of their top leaders on defense, and that includes a top player in the nation in Travis Hunter, the Heisman winner. And they lost a great quarterback in Shedeur Sanders. They lose a lot of their top wide receivers, and I have questions with this team. They had some good wins last season, but they have a very tough schedule, and I am expecting them to take a step back. I think Arizona State can get this win and move to 10-1. And Arizona State will finish their season playing their rival, Arizona. Arizona is a team that I do think is underrated. I expect them to take a step forward and probably make a bowl game. Arizona added some sneaky additions at wide receiver. They add Chris Hudson and Luke Wasong, two very proven receivers. They add a 1,000-yard back from Texas State and Ismail Made. Noah Fafita is back at quarterback. I think another season is huge for this guy. He really didn't do much last season, but he has the potential to get back on the right track. And defensively, they're young, but they bring some pieces back. I think they're in a much better place heading into this season than they were last season because they had a new coach last season. They also did a solid job in the portal. I do think Arizona is going to be better. I think they're going to be better than most people are thinking and most of the media puts them out to be. Like I said, I expect this team to make a bowl game, but I am taking Arizona State to continue the momentum and move to 11-1. I think 11-1 would be a great season for Arizona State. This is a team that could go 9-3 or 8-4 with that schedule, and they could still be a top 20 team. They play all of the top teams in the Big 12, and they have tricky road games. So they really did not get a favorable schedule at all. But I just think this Arizona State team is different. I could see them being even better next season. I think they will be better with who they have back, even though they lost Cam Scatterbo. But anyways, you guys let me know what you think about this Arizona State team down in the comments below. Now let me remind you guys to like the video and also subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. And if you guys love college football, then you'll love this channel, because we upload a ton of college football content and we basically cover everything on this channel. So definitely consider subscribing. And also consider checking out my socials down in the description below. But that is going to do it, guys, and peace out.